For the second part of this video, we are going to discuss we'll start to discuss part 3, which is finding the rate or the percentage. So what if you're given the original value and you're given the amount of the percentage? So how do you find how many percent that is? For instance, what percentage of 89 is 17? So in this case, there should be two things that you have to look into. Number one, what is the part? And number two, what is the whole? Okay, whole, WHOLE, the entire thing. So if you try to read and understand this, what percentage of 89? Meaning, it's another way of saying what part of 89 is 17? What part of your body is, let's say, the one with or what part of your face is the most prominent, or what part of your face do you think is your best asset, something like that. So meaning when we talk about what percentage of, then we know that 89 is the whole. This one is the part, the whole, whereas we're asking for what part of the whole is 17. 17 then is our part. Okay, so remember fraction, part of a whole. So we can actually write this into a fraction wherein the part is the numerator and the whole is the denominator. So this is I think what majority of the students are confused. And just try to remember that if you're asked of what part of 89, what part of this, what part of this one, that particular thing is actually the whole, the entire. And the one that we are looking into is the part, like what part of 89 is 17? 17 is the part. So we can simply write this as 17 over 89, that's the fraction. But remember, as a fraction, the previous discussion, part 1, we can convert this into a percentage by multiplying 100%. And recall the process. You divide 17 by 89, just to show you. All right. So we divide 17. 17 divided by 89. All right. Then we multiply this by 100. So it will give us this value here. Therefore, this is 19 point and so on. Two decimal places, that gives us 19.10%. So we say 17 is just 19.10% of 89. Okay? Now, if you have forgotten this process, you can go back to the first part of the video. Next question. What percent, instead of saying percentage, what percent of this number is 9879? So what percent of? So it's not about of which one is bigger. It's about which one is the whole and which one is the part. Okay? So what percent of 13,879? So we're talking of what part of, what percent of. So this is our whole. Okay? And what part of this is this one? So this will simply be our part. So part of a whole. Okay, so we can now write this as a fraction, multiply by 100%. Try to put this in your calculator and try to see what you got or what you will get. All right, two decimal places. So 9 is greater than 5. We add 1 to the second decimal place. Therefore, we say 9879 is just simply 71.18% of 13,879. Okay? This time, try to do this on your own. What part of 167 is 500? Express it in percentage. Give yourself a few seconds, pause this video, and try it on. Alright. Now, I have to specify that express it in percentage because when you say what part of, it could be a fraction, it could be a decimal. Because fraction, decimals, and percentages simply talks about part of a whole. That's why we can convert fractions to decimals, decimals to percentages interchangeably. All right, so express it in percentage. If you remember what I said, it's not about which one is bigger, which one is smaller. It's about which one is the whole and which one is the part. So what part of 167? What part of your face? So your face is the whole. So this 167 is the whole. So what part of 167 is 500? This is the part. All right, so see, it's not about which one is bigger. So you have to analyze and try to see which quantity is referred to as the whole. All right. So we can write this as a fraction. Since 500 is the part, this becomes our numerator, and this is our denominator. Times 100. Since a numerator is bigger than denominator, what will you expect? If you don't know the answer to that question as to what you are going to expect, you may use your calculator, compute it, and then you would see that the answer is more than 100%. In other words, if the numerator is bigger than the denominator, we expect the percentage to be bigger. If it's lesser, if the numerator is lesser than the denominator, then the percentage is lesser than 100 also. Now, you can, without even solving, you could already analyze that if you try to have this is more than one whole. And one whole is equivalent to 100%. So if you try to if you try to analyze this one, since it's greater than one whole, therefore we can expect that the value should be greater than 100%. And even this is greater than half of 167, or this is greater than double 167, so it should be greater than 200%. Okay, but the most important thing is knowing that the numerator greater than the denominator tells us that it's greater than 100%. That's already more than enough. Pause this video and try this on your own. Okay, so this one is the whole and this one is the part. 2 decimal places, that must give us 420.92%. Okay, this time pause this video and try this one by one. Okay, 2 decimal places, 1.12%. Next item. Okay, then 2 decimal places, this must give us 166.67%. And that is how to find the rate of percentage. Okay, this time, before we proceed, by the way, we first express a quantity as a percentage of another quantity. Okay, remember part of a whole. So what percentage of the class are boys? So what percent of the phase is your best asset? So what percent of the class? So class here is considered the whole, the number of students in the class, whereas the number of boys is simply a part. So you have to know how many boys are there and what's the total number of students in a class. So in a class, there are 8 boys and there are 12 girls, meaning the total number of students would be 20. So we're talking about the percentage of boys, a percentage of boys in the class. Okay? So class is the whole, therefore this must be 8 over 20. And converting it to the percentage gives us 40%. Okay? So this can be achieved using your calculator. Can you try to answer this, please? Pause this video and give your answer. This time we're talking about girls against class being the whole, 12 over 20, because there are 12 girls, times 100%, that's 60%. Okay, how about this one? Which one is your part, which one is your whole? Okay, precisely the girls, what percentage of the girls? So basically, this is your whole, and this is your part, are the boys. So we know that there are 8 boys and there are 12 girls, so we can just write it as 8 over 12 times 100% gives you 66.67%. Remember to always round it off to 2 decimal places. Okay? Pause this, This time, try this on your own, analyze, and answer using your calculator. Okay, 16 over 25. That means there are 25 people and there are 16 who likes ice cream. Convert into a percentage, 64%. How about this one? Pause the video, please. Okay, does not like, there must be 9 of them. Times 100%, that's 36%. How about this? What percentage of those who likes do not like ice cream? What percentage of those who likes? Meaning, that must be our part and this must be our whole. whole because what percentage of. So this is our whole and this is our part. Okay? So you have to know how many do not like ice cream over those who likes ice cream. And that's 9 over 16. Converting it into a percentage, that gives us 56.25%. And that is how to find the rate or the percentage.